Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode of Suda with Nuna. As you can probably tell right now, I don't have my usual Shure mic. This mic is wonderful, but I wanted to try recording with this mic because I have an arm and I can use my hands freely. So this is me trying a different mic, but let me know what you think. In today's episode, I wanted to talk about stop trying to solve other people's problems. As for me, as an oldest daughter, I noticed that when my dad tells me something, like something he's been having an issue with, or when my mom tells me that she's been having a problem with whatever, I noticed that I usually step up and I try to fix the problem for them. It was just so natural for me to just fix it for them, but it got to a point where I was like so exhausted because I had my own problems, I had my own things to figure out, and when they came to me with their problems, I realized that I keep solving everyone's problems and that's why they come to me to solve their problems. This was also for my brothers too. They would just tell me like, oh, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, and I would give them advice and tips on how they can fix the situation, but that's not my job. And I realized that as time went on, and especially when I lived with my parents, when I spent like 5 years being alone and when I was away for college, I was just living my own life and kind of dealing with my own problems. But when I moved back home, I still had like new problems that I faced, and it was just natural for them to come to me for their problems. Even when I was away, they would call me, letting me know something happened and if I can look into it. I don't think that ever stops, but something that I've done to help oldest daughter trying to fix everyone's problem issue is that I set boundaries. Setting boundaries is really important, and I've always known that. But it was so hard for me to actually start setting boundaries. I noticed that I was trying to set boundaries, but I wasn't really communicating nicely. I was communicating, I'm on fight or flight mode. So it was kind of hurting everyone, including myself. My boundaries weren't being set, and my parents would also get hurt by what I said, or my brothers too. If you hear my upstairs neighbor stomping, I apologize. My upstairs neighbor is a stomper, so I can't do anything about that. Anyways, everything started working out when I start setting boundaries in a nicer and in an intentional way. Because when I started setting boundaries, I didn't expect my parents to not really expect me to set boundaries, and they weren't really happy with it. But it's because it was uncomfortable. Like, there was no such thing as boundaries, and they didn't know how to set boundaries. They didn't grow up in a boundary setting life. So when I started incorporating boundaries into my life, and especially everyone around me, it wasn't comfortable for anyone. And that's why my parents were also kind of like, what do you mean? They didn't really get it at first, but as time went on and as I started to incorporate more boundaries, they were able to pick it up and they respected it, which I'm very grateful for, because I know that some parents, there's no such thing as a boundary to them. But my parents were able to understand, and also my brothers too. So I feel like I was able to be a better oldest daughter for my family and actually step up in times when they need me, because if I was constantly giving from an empty cup, I wouldn't have been present in everyone's lives. I feel like I would have just ran away and lived my own life without having familial ties with anyone. I think I would have just been so fed up with everyone and living for myself, basically. I don't think I would have been this close with my family if I didn't do that. I realized that setting boundaries is uncomfortable, but it's so important because I was able to protect my peace. When I protected my own peace, it brought me to a place where I want to help others and I want to help you, not just because of obligation or because I'm required to. It's genuinely from a place of want and not, oh, like I have to do it. Like it's not a necessity. When I set boundaries, I stopped solving people's problems. I would just listen, and most of the time they usually figure it out on their own, but they tend to rely on me because it can get done quicker. But sometimes I won't be there. So it just takes patience, and it also takes courage to even set boundaries. But setting boundaries is really difficult, but I was constantly failing on setting boundaries because I was setting my boundaries in such a fighter mode. I was just like, if you don't respect this, I was communicating my boundaries out of frustration and not really being intentional with it. And I think that's why it wasn't working at first, because it wasn't out of love. I was just so angry that people won't respect my time and that I have my own problems to work with first. If you're an oldest daughter watching this, I really hope that it encourages you to start setting boundaries and start communicating those boundaries. Most of the time, the reaction won't be as welcoming because your family might be a little confused. They're like, oh, like, why is she doing this now? But as someone who's already done it, it's really helped me become a better family member for my own family. And if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be where I am with my family because I would have been probably doing something else with my life. Like, I don't think I would have been very happy being around with my family, so I wouldn't be present in their lives. But I love being with my family. I honestly spend more time with my family than with my friends. I'd rather go to a really yummy brunch cafe with my parents than go with my friends. I really love that I restored my peace with my parents because I get to build memories with the people who gave birth to me and raised me. It's so nice hearing about like what I was like as a child because I don't have those memories and my friends don't have those memories either, but my parents do. So they were able to share memories of me growing up, and it's really nice to hear from them because my parents are really good storytellers. They tell stories in such a fun way. Even though I hear the story almost like 20 plus times or even more, it's just so fun to hear them talk because they're really good storytellers. So maybe one day I'll invite them to this channel. My life has significantly improved ever since I stopped solving everyone's problems. I definitely try to help if they can't figure it out, but I give them the chance of solving their problems first, at least trying to solve their problems first, and then afterwards I go and help them if they can't figure it out. But now it's not just instinctive for me to fix their problems for them. They try to fix it first, and if they can't do it, they come to me and they ask me to help them, and it's so nice. Because before it was just, Esther, can you do this? Esther, can you do that? But now it's, hey, like I tried doing it, but I can't do it. It's a very nice lifestyle change, and I'm really glad that I started setting boundaries. It was so uncomfortable, and I really thought that it was kind of disrespectful to set boundaries, but I am very glad I did, and I'm very glad that I did it out of love, not frustration. Now, I am really happy to be with my family, and I love spending time with my family. Family means a lot to me, and it always has meant a lot to me, but now it feels even more meaningful because I actually like hanging out with these people, and not just because we're family, but it's because I genuinely like these people as human beings. I hope you feel the same way too, and if you're also struggling with setting boundaries as I did 3-4 years ago, I really hope that you take the courage and set boundaries out of place of love, not frustration, because I've done that and it wasn't good. So set it out of love, and I promise you it will all work out. That is the end of this episode. I really hope that this mic did a good job, because if I'm watching this and I'm editing this and it didn't work out, I'd be pretty frustrated. Let me know in the comments if you like this mic better or that mic better. Let me know in the comments what you want me to talk about, any problems you have or anything, any topics in general. I'd love to read your comments. Share this video with a fellow oldest daughter or an oldest child, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!